Here I am, my wood selection process. Ideally, I like wood that ain't got no bark on it. That would be ideal. But of course, I will knock some of it off if I have to. Now, that's the perfect piece right there. But you get the idea. I got a combination of hickory, pecan, cherry, both red oak and white oak mixed in here. I personally can't tell the difference between the two after they've turned into charcoal. There might be some experts out there that can tell the taste in the food, but I haven't been able to distinguish the taste once it's turned into charcoal. Now, cooking with either one of the woods, I could tell the taste, but once it's turned into pure carbon charcoal, I can't tell the difference. But this is about the size that I'm looking for. To use to pack my can up with. I'm just gonna cut enough to fill the thing up, and it should be ready. Okay, I have it completely packed like I want it. And in case you didn't see my first video, you know that I got some holes there under the bottom. So once it start the process of pyrolysis, it allows the gas to escape, and that's also the purpose of this hole right here too. And the idea is to cook it or bake it at practically 0% oxygen. But there she is. She's ready to be loaded in the barrel. So this is the way I put it in the barrel, and I try to get it perfectly centered because my fuel wood is gonna go around here. And as you can see, I got holes in my barrel there so the fire can get some oxygen for the fuel wood. This is some old strap pallets that I drug in from the yard, from the job rather. And that's what I'm gonna be using for fuel when I start the fire. I'm gonna wait till the sun go down so the neighbors can't see what's going on. They can perhaps smell it and think it's a nice toasty fireplace or a barbecue going on. But out of sight, out of mind. You get the point. Just getting as much as I can in there. And of course, I'm gonna let some of it burn down in there as the process goes on. And there my K9 buddy, Atlas, who I'm dog sitting this weekend. Hey buddy, why are you being so nosy? Huh? Go away. That's enough to get that fire started. And of course I got holes in the barrel here that are going to give it some oxygen, and I'll use those holes to actually light the fire as well. So I'm just going to wait till late on this evening to get it started, and there's some extra wood so I can sustain it. As I said before, it has to be sustained for a couple hours at 400 to 600 degrees. But I'm going to come back and set up and get started with that later on this evening. Okay, I'm about here in the twilight of the evening, about to start my fire for my charcoal. Um, Guess I better turn it on first, get my fire going. I think that should be enough to get this here thing going. Um, so I'll come back and check on it in a few minutes. But for right now, we're just gonna let it do its thing. Hopefully it's on the right track. I think we got it going here now. So I'm gonna let it do its thing. It does not require any more attention right now. I will add some more wood to it once that fire get going good. But for the most part, she's on her way. Okay, I'm back checking on the fire. I just added a little wood to it. And then of course, coming out here to, get me a little sip. Cause this is what you do when you're out here in your own backyard. And this is what you call organic brandy. It's organic. Let's see what we're working with here. Ooh, hey, God, that's some good stuff. That's that apple cinnamon. If you don't know, you better ask somebody about it. Ooh, that's hot. I imagine pyrolysis process will be started soon here. See, I see that roaring sound there. See that little hole releasing that gases and stuff out it? Now what you got going in there is gas burning from the bottom and gas burning from the top. I give just a little bit more time on my timer to let it do its thing. I gotta let that gas burn off and I'm gonna shut it down. But we're gonna let it do its thing and cool it down. Look at the temperature on that. Over inside that fire it just says high, which is over 1,000 degrees. Wow. Things that I learned, it becomes tricky to sustain the temperature and maintain it for 2 hours over 400, ideally 600 degrees. But when you get it this hot, then getting it back down under 400 degrees within that 2 hours becomes pretty tricky, because what you run the risk of is over cooking the inside. The pyrolysis process would have ended, but you're still cooking. But we'll see. That's why I got my chimbley here, my homemade chimbley here, is to add this to it and smother out the holes with this dirt I got here available. But we got a little while yet to go, and then I'm gonna have to cool it down. Okay, I'm back to check on the fire. I
I noticed that I got flames shooting out the side of this can. I'm concerned about a backdraft
altogether. And I think I've sustained the cook process long enough. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shut this thing down so I don't burn up my product on the inside here. Change gloves here, because this here is a hard process right here about to go down. Because I ain't gonna hold it long enough to worry about that. But I'm just gonna smother the fire a little bit, slow it down. See, ideally, I need to make sure that it don't go much longer at that temperature. Because otherwise, I'm gonna cook what I got on the inside to be perfect honest, which I am very concerned about watching those flames shoot out the side of that can lid. I'm thinking perhaps I might have a backdraft going on there, lose everything I got on the inside. So I got to shut this thing down now. And that's what I got this pile of dirt over here for, is to help smother it down. If I can get enough of it on either side of it. Got it all smothered down. We're gonna call it a quit. And, man, that is some pretty good looking stuff there. Look at that, look at that. I'm getting better and better at this thing. Look at that. It's nice and firm. That's pretty good stuff right there. That is absolutely perfect. That is absolutely perfect. Got that clinking sound to it that you, and it ain't easy to crack over. That is some beautiful stuff. I think I got enough to get started with my cooking adventure. Stay tuned, folks.